Alright gang, welcome back you guys. Well, today's the day. Let's light this thing off, huh? So this is going to be a handheld one. I'm going to hold the camera and just, because I'm going to try and show you guys inside the firebox and water getting heated up and all that stuff. So it's going to be shaky. I'm going to ramble on, so I hope you're ready for that. There's an introductory video introducing this new Walker boiler. It's only a few minutes long. If you'd like to go check that out and just give you an overview of the stove. But in this one, we're going to get into it. So let's just get right into it, you guys. It's morning. It's just about 8 o'clock in the morning. I was going to try and put a clock out here so we could monitor the time, but I wasn't. I don't have one. So I'm just going to tell you, it's 8 o'clock right now. And let's come over here and get a temperature reading on the outgoing water. I've got it running right now. I'll turn it off. You guys see that? 61. Is what we got right now. Okay, so 61 degrees, 8 in the morning, water's flowing. I'm gonna go turn that off and then we'll come back and we'll light her up. Okay, so here we are, ready to light her off. So, not quite ready yet actually. So here's some of the wood I'm gonna use. I've just got some small, real dry maple. I've got a little bit of cedar here for the initial light, a little bit of fir pieces just for kindling. And so this door is terrible. I'm just going to tell you that right now. This isn't the door that I've got spec'd for it in the plans. I've got a much better door with one big opening. The only thing bad about this one is this divider right here really gets in the way. So this is just one I had sitting around. But the stove is designed with a Pisla door here that's quite a bit better than this one we're seeing here. So the way I like to fuel these, and as you can see, this door really sucks, but what you want to do when you light them is you want to get your fire, the beginnings of your fire, as close as you can to the secondary air piece, which is there, vertical at the back of the firebox. So we kind of want to light towards the back of the box there and try and get the flame to pull back around that corner in the back of the firebox. So I am going to build a little, it's kind of like a Boy Scout teepee fire, but it's laid on its side. And hopefully you guys can see that. And I'm just going to keep building that up. Filling in the low spots there. And then I'll put my maple on top of that. And I'd say we got about 3 pounds of fuel in there maybe. So there's my starting load. Maybe 3 pounds of fuel. Okay, get my lighting implement. Alrighty, here goes, guys. So that ought to do it. So, it's been lit for just 20 or 30 seconds or so. And on a day like today, it's not uncommon to have it do a little smoking back out the firebox like that. But I don't know if you can tell, but we've already got smoke coming out the chimney top. So it found the exit pretty quick. Now I've got the bypass closed. So let's come around here. And here's my bypass. It's just a simple piece of ceramic fiberboard. And it's just a simple slider. and that opens the bypass. Now if I were building this inside, I'd probably put a handle on that and make it nicer. This is just, you know, temporary for the outdoors. But by doing that, and you can't see any smoke at all coming out of there because of the background, but there is some, and the bypass just accelerated the draw there a little bit. Now, like I said, we're gonna get some smoke out of here, probably for a minute or two. Now, if this was inside, you know, it's only gonna do this the very first time you light it. If you had warm water in the tank, it would already be pulling. If this is you know, this is due to the water inside cooling the gases so much that it creates a real heavy load, as it were, to push out the chimney. As you can see, it's starting to come out the chimney. I've got leaks everywhere in this thing, but that's okay. But as you can see, it's coming out the chimney. So you'll get a little smoke out the door on startup. There's ways to minimize that. If this were an indoor build, what I would do is my bypass is up fairly high in the chamber, but it's not all the way at the top, as you can see here. So if I were to put this bypass up here, then the gases would have a direct line out. So that would help. Another thing you can do is you can put a priming entry at the bottom of the chimney. I could use my inspection door here, and I could light just a piece of newspaper under the chimney right when I lit this. And that would probably be enough to just get draft going in the right direction. So I've got a big leak in my chimney right here, which isn't helping. Oh geez, it's real big. Looks like the rain got her. So anyways, we're starting up. We'll get going here and I'll come back and show you how she looks. Okay, gang. So it's been about 10 minutes. It's about 10 after 8. And this thing just got kind of past its morning sickness here. So it takes this one, it took about 10 minutes. It's a warm day out. The water in there was about 60, what did we measure it at? 61 degrees, something like that. So, you know, getting a lot of heavy cooling in the initial gases. So the trick is just to get the fire generating heat. If it's smoldering like a cold little fire, it'll never get going. So you just got to get it blasted, and that's why you saw me load in all that real small dry wood. But now, literally 10 minutes after it's running, it's difficult to see chimney smoke here. There is some. I can see just a tiny bit of visible smoke right there. I'm not sure if you guys can, but there's a little. But that's at about 10 minutes, so it will be totally clear in no time. There's no more, you know, back puffing out the door or anywhere else. And as you can see, my wood, not that great, right? It's still kicking some moisture out. It's actually 2 years old, but it's still a little moist in there. But as you can see, this fire is just ripping. So there we go. So it's not time to check the water temperature yet. I mean, literally, it just started burning clear. So we'll come back in, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour. Probably about when it's time to load another load. So that's the first load. That's just the kindling load, right? Now I'm going to keep burning wood that's about that size, pretty much kindling size, because I want to burn as hot as I can. But that's the first load. Lit her about 10 minutes ago. So we'll come back in about 20 and see where she's at. All right, see you guys. All right, so it's 8:30, you guys, and we're burning nice and hot here. First load still. You can see that chimney's totally clear now. I can't see anything coming out of there. And our firebox is pretty well through this load. There's still some left, but I'm gonna go ahead and load on top of that, I think. Well, let's see, maybe I won't. I know I'm just gonna put in a little more fuel in there. These ones are a little bigger, but they're still pretty much kindling. I think that's probably all I'm gonna get. All right, so now that we've been burning for half an hour, let's see if we got any water temp rise. I'm gonna go turn it on. I'll be right back. Alrighty, so where were we before? 61, I think? Something like that. So now we got 80, 88, 87. It'll probably start dropping here as I do this. 86, 85. That's not bad. First load of wood, 3 pounds of wood or so, half an hour. So we got 20 degrees or so. All right, I'm gonna shut that down and we'll come back in another half hour or so. All right, you guys, see ya. Okay, so it's 9 o'clock, you guys. It's been 1 hour since we lit it, and still not any heat transferring to the outside of the bricks. That last, I just put those 3 little pieces in there on that last load, and they're pretty much gone at half an hour. There's just a little bit left. Well, there's no real flames left in the firebox, just a little. So I'll load her back up here. Like I said, I'm still just using this really small format fuel, trying to just burn this thing as hot as possible, quickly as possible. Get that water heated up. Alrighty, 9:30, you guys. So we've been burning for an hour and a half, and let's have a look at the firebox. I haven't looked at it yet. I think it's probably, yeah, just about out. Just coals. So those are really small, you know, kindling pieces of wood, basically. So those are about half-hour loads. Now, once the firebox is hot like this, you can definitely start using larger fuel. Like if you were using this for a radiant floor, something like that, and you want to do long burns, you certainly can use much larger format fuel. I'm going for fastest heat up time, as it were. So there we go, load it up, and let's check temps, huh? Let's see what we're doing here. So, new load of wood, tiny little bit of visible smoke. I can kind of see a little. I don't know if you can on the camera, but let's see how the water's doing. Okay, so we've been running for a few seconds there, maybe to stabilize. Wow, 110, 107. It's going to drop down to probably 98 or so, or maybe even a little less, and stabilize. I'm running that's pretty high flow rate, but still pretty good. So that hot batch is the first batch that comes out of the coil, right? And yeah, now we're back to, so yeah, 98, 97. I don't think we'll slough off from there. Yeah, so holding stable at 97. So almost 100 degree water, 98. Yeah, coming back up now. So almost 100 degree water, which we started at 60. So almost 40 degrees in an hour and a half, and probably about 9 pounds of wood so far. All right, well, let's come back in another half hour, see how we're doing at 10. Okay, gang, 10 o'clock. So we've been burning for 2 hours since startup. So now we're starting to get some warmth out here. The thermometer here that goes through into the chamber there is pretty close to 300. So we got some good heat. Our fire, I'm not gonna touch that cast iron again, is ripping, and still got a fair bit of fuel in there from that last load. And let's check our water temps. Alrighty, so 120. Probably gonna slough off down from there a little bit. Yeah, there it goes, dropping off. It's gonna probably stabilize somewhere around here. There we go. Probably come back up a degree or two, maybe, maybe not. I'm running the hose a little faster this time. Could get a good shower with this rate of flow. So yeah, it looks like 104, 105 probably, somewhere in there is where we're stable. Okay, so 10:30 now. Let's check this firebox. Probably, yeah, pretty much out. Not out, not even close to out, but no flame. Just down to coals. So I'm gonna load it with a little bit bigger fuel this time. Maybe. That's probably just the spike coming out of the coil at 129. Yeah? No, holding steady. Holding steady there. Whoa, that's hot. There you go. So pretty good flow, 125, 124, definitely ready to start pumping out showers or whatever you want. So we're 2.5 hours into the burn. We've probably burned, oh, I'd say between 10 and 12 pounds of wood. Maybe like 3 regular big pieces of firewood, kind of split up into smaller pieces. And I just loaded another one, so we'll just let it keep going. I don't think I'll put any more wood in after this load, because this is plenty of hot water, and it's gonna only get hotter, at least for a while now, for a little bit, and then it stays hot forever. Like, it'll be hot. It'll be close to this temp all day long. So, and I'll get some video of that too. But here we go, 10:30, close to 120 degrees, 119 degrees, stable, flowing through there. Alrighty. Okay, so here we are, 11 o'clock, 3 hours after lighting. And as you can see, now this thing's pretty warm, but as you can see, this is now showing, well, almost 300 degrees. So it's pretty stable once it gets up to temp. The water tank holds it fairly stable. Our fire is still burning pretty vigorously. I won't put any more wood in after this, because I'm sure it's plenty hot. So I'll go turn on the water, and we'll see how we're doing. I bet it's hot. Alright, so I'm going to stay away from this first little squirt of water here. But as we get going here, we got, yeah, 139, and I'm sure that'll cool off here once we get the water out of the coil. Holding pretty stable though. So, this is 3 hours after lighting. At this point, you'd definitely be ready to start running your radiant floor, cycling showers. Showers you probably would have been doing a while ago and not fed it much more wood, because this is definitely too hot for showers without a mixing valve, and a little dangerous at this temperature to plumb right into, you know, unless you had some sort of safety that pre-mixed it with cold water. This is too hot. But at any rate, we got hot water, gang. Very small amount of wood today. That was probably 3 or 4 regular sized pieces of firewood, maybe 12 to 15 pounds of wood. 3 hours of burning. As you can see, we're still burning. We got no smoke. It's absolutely crystal clear. There's no sign that it's burning other than some heat. There aren't really even heat. I can see a little bit of heat refraction waves coming off of there, but there's not much because it's a pretty cool exhaust. So there we go. Holding steady up here. It can flow pretty quickly and hold this temp. We could run it a lot faster and probably hold something cooler. Anyways, so I'm gonna turn it off for now, and I'm gonna stop burning. And we'll come back and check this every couple hours or so and see what our temps are, how this thing holds temps. So, alright you guys, check back in with you in a few minutes. Alrighty gang, here we are, it's 1 o'clock. And checking the temperature here. Yeah, look at that. 148 degrees. So I lit it at 8 o'clock this morning. We burned it, I think, I'll have to do this tally once I go tally up the videos, but I think we loaded it with probably about 15 pounds of fuel, with 3 or 4 little loads, or maybe 4 or 5. And now here we are. The last load went in at, I believe, 10:30. And now here we are with stable 140 degree water coming out of there 2 hours after our last checkup. That's amazing. Alrighty gang, so it's 4 o'clock now, so this thing's been out, or the last wood went in at about 11. Last wood in 11, and 4 o'clock now, and look at that. Still getting 140 degree water out of there. Steady. At a reasonable clip. That is amazing. So, there you go, you guys. I think that'll be enough for today. It'll still be warm for a long time. It'll be warm tomorrow morning still, I would imagine. But that's it. That's how it burns. But there you go. Thanks, you guys. Thanks so much for listening and watching, for all your support. I'll see you guys on the next one. Alrighty, see you soon.